Okay, so sorry about that little interruption. So to put the compensation codes in for someone that did their own injectors. That's all sorted. Now, where were we? This is the problem when you get interruptions, you forget. So I should go back to the other video and check, but I reckon, I'm pretty sure that we were here doing these bolts up on the side, this little bracket here. So if I'm wrong, when you watch this video, give me a ring and tell me, mate, go and check this, you've forgotten. Right, so just nip that bottom bolt up nicely, don't forget that. Then these two, yep, we already put those two vacuum lines on, so two vacuum lines at the top and there's two at the bottom. This is where the yellow and pink goes on and it's marked, so you can't get it wrong. Well, apparently you can get it wrong because people get it wrong and they end up with a P0400 code. EGR flow low, okay? These got to be round the right way. Right, just push those on nice and neatly, make sure it's all happy. All your clamps and everything down there, yep. So that's all that's sorted. Now let's get the throttle body. And let me explain something. A little free bonus in this one. I'm going to do a separate video on this actually, but I'll explain it here anyway. This throttle body, we call it a throttle body. It's kind of not a throttle body because it's got nothing to do with the throttle. You should probably look up the actual part name for it, right? Might be called that. But on a petrol engine, the throttle body, the butterfly, controls the air flow, and in turn, the things control the fuel flow. So it's your air-fuel mixture, air-fuel ratio, right? Not the case on these, right? This engine will run perfectly fine just like that. It doesn't need this in place. Well, it kind of does. It's going to have an engine light and all that sort of thing. Because of the system, the way they've designed it and built it, it does need to be there. But there's two reasons it's there. There's only two reasons, right? And it's zero to do with fuel, and it's zero of anything good, really. Because one of the reasons is for a smooth shutdown, right? So what's a smooth shutdown? When you switch off the engine, you just want the engine to stop smoothly and quietly. Well, that's what happens anyway in this, because it's a common rail and the fuel gets cut and it just stops. If you remember the older diesels where, a bit mechanical and a bit whatever, they could sort of run on a little bit of a rough shutdown, we'll call it, it's kind of when you switch it off, right? So that is to kind of like choke it, right? Smooth shutdown. It sort of chokes the engine and stops the engine nice and smooth. Now, we've done a little bit of R&D running the engine with this off, and the engine does shut down very smoothly, no problem, to the point that I'd say, I don't want to say you wouldn't notice the difference, but you probably wouldn't. But I think you wouldn't. I really think you wouldn't notice the difference. I couldn't notice the difference. If you did, it's such a very small difference, it's not funny. Very small difference. Okay, but I'd say not noticing the difference. So you don't need that there for the smooth shutdown. Let's plug that on, don't forget that. Someone forgot that recently. Right, so you don't need it for that. This is what it does. I'm just going to do a quick explanation of the EGR system, right? So this is the EGR cooler. The exhaust gases come from that end through the cooler. It's supposed to cool them down because, of course, they're about 300, 400, 500 degrees, those gases. Terrible. Way too hot. That's why they want to cool it down, which means there's this whole big box here, more weight full of coolant hoses and everything, which is a heat exchanger, which coolant could end up leaking and end up in your intake. It doesn't on these, but it could. I just said it could. So that's the downside. Now, the exhaust gases go up into the intake, but what makes that draw, that exhaust system, what makes it actually draw the gases? Well, what makes it draw is this, because what happens as you accelerate, this opens up, right? And your EGR valve closes up, right? This valve closes up. As you back off, this closes up and the EGR valve opens up. So they work opposite to each other, in sync, if you know what I mean. So that is there to make your EGR system work. Now, if you didn't put a plate in and you took that out, that may well stop your EGR system from flowing. I don't know. I haven't done that R&D. It's, you know, it's all about time, mate. How many hours in a day? So the second stage of the plate with a super mill hole was perhaps to get some of these made up with holes in them or cut in different shapes, kind of not there, if you know what I mean. But we didn't really get round to it. The hold up with that was there's 2 screws that hold that butterfly in place, and they're super duper tight, and I've never been able to get any undone. Okay, I'm sure there's some special freeze spray, awesome stuff. I'm just going to put this clip on, this clip with the same size as each other. Goes there. All right, and remember these were off, but I'm just going to try and clip it on again, and hopefully that probably needs to be replaced, because yeah, it might stay there actually. I reckon that's strong enough. Okay, and there's of course this other one. I'm just going to put it, I won't put it in place because I'm going to do a suction control valve on this. I'm going to take it off anyway. That's your big little, that's all we've got left. We've got our 4 intercooler bolts and the 4 bolts for the power steering. So I just wanted to tell you about that. That's what that's there for. So I hope you're excited that you know about how exciting, right? Anyway, put the top bolt in the power steering reservoir or reservoir, depends where you are. Right, so put that bolt in. That can just sit there for now because we're using a different tool, and that'll allow us to not forget to tighten it up. We're using the 12mm deep reach again with a short extension to get our hand in. We'll bring the ratchet over ready as well. I'll just show you again. This is what I use for the length to put these 2 bolts in that go in the front of the power steering reservoir. But you don't really need to watch me do that, do you, alright? Because we talked about pulling it apart. There's not much else to go back together. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the bolts back in the power steering reservoir. I'm going to give a final check over everything on the engine. That's the majority of everything that's got to go back on, other than the map filter. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do the wiring loom. Remember, we tucked this down out of the way, so it's time to bring that back up where it belongs. Right. Plug 1, EGR valve. Right. The brown one on the side. The clamp in the top. Throttle motor. We did the throttle position sensor. Those 2 go on the intercooler. So all we've got left is the intercooler and the map sensor, the map filter, which we're replacing, and to tighten up those 3 bolts. So we're going to go ahead and tighten up the 3 bolts, change the map filter, and I might come back to you putting the intercooler back on or something like that. So sit tight. Thanks for watching.